Wordless 29. Missile. Object to be thrown or projected. After carefully folding his book report into a paper airplane, Beavis threw the missile across the classroom at Butthead. Rocket scientists are building guided missiles. Beavis and Butthead can barely make unguided ones. Missive. Letter. The ambassador received a missive from the Secretary of State. Mite. Very small object or creature, small coin. Gnats are annoying mites that sting. Mitigate. Appease, moderate. Nothing Jason did could mitigate Medea's anger. She refused to forgive him for betraying her. Mnemonic. Pertaining to memory. He used mnemonic tricks to master new words. Mobile. Movable, not fixed. The mobile blood bank operated by the Red Cross visited our neighborhood today. Mock. Ridicule, imitate, often in derision. It is unkind to mock anyone, it is stupid to mock anyone significantly bigger than you. Mode. Prevailing style, manner, way of doing something. The rock star had to have her hair done in the latest mode, frizzed, with occasional mousse spikes for variety. Henry plans to adopt a simpler mode of life. He is going to become a mushroom hunter and live off the land. Modicum. Limited quantity. Although his story is based on a modicum of truth, most of the events he describes are fictitious. Modulate. Tone down in intensity, regulate, change from one key to another. Always singing at the top of her lungs, the budding Brunhilde never learned to modulate her voice. Molecule. The smallest particle, one or more atoms, of a substance, having all the properties of that substance. In chemistry, we study how atoms and molecules react to form new substances. Mollify. Soothe. The airline customer service representative tried to mollify the angry passenger by offering her a seat in first class. Mold. Shed or cast off hair or feathers. When Molly's canary molted, he shed feathers all over the house. Molten. Melted. The city of Pompeii was destroyed by volcanic ash rather than by molten lava flowing from Mount Vesuvius. Momentous. Very important. When Marie and Pierre Curie discovered radium, they had no idea of the momentous impact their discovery would have upon society. Momentum. Quantity of motion of a moving body, impetus. The car lost momentum as it tried to ascend the steep hill. Monarchy. Government under a single ruler. Though England today is a monarchy, there is some question whether it will be one in 20 years, given the present discontent at the prospect of Prince Charles as king. Monastic. Related to monks or monasteries, removed from worldly concerns. Withdrawing from the world, Thomas Merton joined a contemplative religious order and adopted the monastic life. Monetary. Pertaining to money. Jane held the family purse strings, she made all monetary decisions affecting the household. Monochromatic. Having only one color. Most people who are colorblind actually can distinguish several colors. Some, however, have a truly monochromatic view of a world all in shades of gray. Monolithic. Solidly uniform, unyielding. Knowing the importance of appearing resolute, the Patriots sought to present a monolithic front. Monosyllabic. Having only one syllable. No matter what he was asked, the taciturn New Englander answered with a monosyllabic yep or nope. Monosyllable. Monotony. Sameness leading to boredom. What could be more deadly dull than the monotony of punching numbers into a computer hour after hour? Montage. Photographic composition combining elements from different sources. In one early montage, Beecham brought together pictures of broken mannequins and newspaper clippings about the Vietnam War. Monumental. Massive. Writing a dictionary is a monumental task. Moodiness. Fits of depression or gloom. Her recurrent moodiness left her feeling as if she had fallen into a black hole. Moratorium. Legal delay of payment. If we declare a moratorium and delay collection of debts for 6 months, I am sure the farmers will be able to meet their bills. Morbid. Given to unwholesome thought, moody, characteristic of disease. People who come to disaster sites just to peer at the grisly wreckage are indulging their morbid curiosity. Mores. Conventions, moral standards, customs. In America, Benazir Bhutto dressed as Western women did. In Pakistan, however, she followed the mores of her people, dressing in traditional veil and robes. Moribund. Dying. Hearst took a moribund, failing weekly newspaper and transformed it into one of the liveliest, most profitable daily papers around. Morose. Ill-humored, sullen, melancholy. Forced to take early retirement, Bill acted morose for months. Then, all of a sudden, he shook off his sullen mood and was his usual cheerful self. Mortician. Undertaker. The mortician prepared the corpse for burial. Mortify. Humiliate, punish the flesh. She was so mortified by her blunder that she ran to her room in tears. Mosaic. Picture made of colorful small inlaid tiles. The mayor compared the city to a beautiful mosaic made up of people of every race and religion on earth. Mote. Small speck. The tiniest mote in the eye is very painful. Motif. Theme. This simple motif runs throughout the entire score. Motley. Multicolored, mixed. The jester wore a motley tunic, red and green and blue and gold all patched together haphazardly. Captain Ahab had gathered a motley crew to sail the vessel, old sea dogs and runaway boys, pillars of the church and drunkards, even a tattooed islander who terrified the rest of the crew. Mottled. Blotched in coloring, spotted. When old Falstaff blushed, his face was mottled with embarrassment, all pink and purple and red. Muddle. Confuse, mix up. His thoughts were muddled and chaotic. Muggy. Warm and damp. August in New York City is often muggy. Multifaceted. Having many aspects. A multifaceted composer, Roger Davidson has recorded original pieces that range from ragtime tangos to choral masses. Multifarious. Varied, greatly diversified. A career woman and mother, she was constantly busy with the multifarious activities of her daily life. Multiform. Having many forms. Snowflakes are multiform but always hexagonal. Multilingual. Having many languages. Because they are bordered by so many countries, the Swiss people are multilingual. Multiplicity. State of being numerous. He was appalled by the multiplicity of details he had to complete before setting out on his mission. Mundane. Worldly as opposed to spiritual, everyday. Uninterested in philosophical or spiritual discussions, Tom talked only of mundane matters such as the daily weather forecast or the latest basketball results. Munificent. Very generous. Shamelessly fawning over a particularly generous donor, the dean kept on referring to her as our munificent benefactor. Munificence. Mural. Wall painting. The walls of the Chicano Community Center are covered with murals painted in the style of Diego Rivera, the great Mexican artist. Murky. Dark and gloomy, thick with fog, vague. The murky depths of the swamp were so dark that one couldn't tell the vines and branches from the snakes. Muse. Ponder. For a moment he mused about the beauty of the scene, but his thoughts soon changed as he recalled his own personal problems. Mushroom. Expand or grow rapidly. Between and, the population of Silicon Valley mushroomed, with a rapidly increasing demand for housing, home prices skyrocketed as well. Musky. Having the odor of musk. She left a trace of musky perfume behind her. Muster. Gather, assemble. Washington mustered his forces at Trenton. Musty. Stale, spoiled by age. The attic was dark and musty. Mutability. Ability to change in form, fickleness. Going from rags to riches, and then back to rags again, the bankrupt financier was a victim of the mutability of fortune. Muted. Silent, muffled, toned down. Thanks to the thick, sound-absorbing walls of the cathedral, only muted traffic noise reached the worshippers within. Mutinous. Unruly, rebellious. The captain had to use force to quiet his mutinous crew. Myopic. Nearsighted, lacking foresight. Stumbling into doors despite the Coke bottle lenses on his glasses, the nearsighted Mr. Magoo is markedly myopic. In playing all summer long and ignoring to store up food for winter, the grasshopper in Aesop's fable was myopic as well. Myriad. Very large number. Myriads of mosquitoes from the swamps invaded our village every twilight. Mystify. Bewilder purposely. When doctors speak in medical jargon, they often mystify their patients, who have little knowledge of medical terminology. Nadir. Lowest point. Although few people realized it, the Dow Jones averages had reached their nadir and would soon begin an upward surge. Naivete. Quality of being unsophisticated, simplicity, artlessness, gullibility. Touched by the naivete of sweet, convent-trained Cosette, Marius pledges himself to protect her innocence. Narcissist. Conceited person, someone in love with his own image. A narcissist is her own best friend. Narrative. Related to telling a story. A born teller of tales, Tilly Olsen used her impressive narrative skills to advantage in her story I Stand Here Ironing. Narrate. Nascent. Incipient, coming into being. If we could identify these revolutionary movements in their nascent state, we would be able to eliminate serious trouble in later years. Natty. Neatly or smartly dressed. Priding himself on being a natty dresser, the gangster Bugsy Siegel collected a wardrobe of imported suits and ties,